All right, we'll get this rather quick and concise video up there, as concise as I ever get, which isn't too terribly concise. Much to many of your dismays, but a lot of you other guys don't mind that I'm kind of verbose, to be polite, wordy, talk a lot, can't keep a train of thought, can't stay focused, however you want to put it. But we're talking about creatine monohydrate, and you start to look at this. First of all, some people have been asking me about creatine. Can I do a video about creatine? So, yeah, what the hell? Now, first, let me tell you this. First thing, I don't supplement creatine. I don't supplement creatine because it's just, as I've told you before, there's no reason for me to bullshit about anything, so I don't. It's just, it would be one more thing for me to have to bother with. It would be one more thing to make sure I've got on hand, one more thing that I have to take daily, that I'm worried about. It's just, between vitamins, milk thistle, fucking, what the different various shit that I take. I take my one little baby aspirin every single day because I'm old, right? The protein I get in every day, and all the shit that I got to take care of, crossing T's and dotting I's. I try to limit how much shit I do, so I don't want to have to. Even something like creatine is innocuous as creatine. It's just one more thing for me to do. So I already look like this, all right? So I always have this checks and balances thing, rule of diminishing returns. Is it worth it to me? It's not worth it. It's just an extra hassle for me. Is it worth it to you? It may very well be. Creatine is one of the few supplements that nobody tries to say doesn't work. Creatine is pretty much, there's so much science backing up creatine, its efficacy, that it actually does work. It actually does aid in hypertrophy. And there's study on top of study on top of study, and I'll give you a few of them in the description that you can follow and then link out and read until your little heart is content about creatine. Creatine absolutely works. But here's a few little things you may not be down with about creatine, though you probably are. First off, the basics are that creatine works best in the presence of insulin. Now, what kind of surprise is that? Who would have thunk it, right? What does insulin do? Insulin's job, it's probably the most powerful, powerful hormone in the body, and its job is to shuttle nutrients into the cell membrane at a really super high efficiency, and just to push it in there, drive it in there. So, what isn't going to work better in the body in the presence of insulin? If you're trying to push creatine into the muscle, insulin's going to push more creatine into the muscle. I mean, it just makes sense, just like it does carbohydrate. So, yeah, there's science for that, as if that's a surprise, that creatine works best in the presence of insulin, and the way to do that is to ingest your carbohydrate, your simple carbohydrate or high glycemic, carbohydrate into your body when you're ingesting your creatine. And it's kind of how, like, it explains, if you didn't already realize it, Cell Tech, right? Remember Muscle Tech's Cell Tech product? It had like 75 grams, at least the original formula used to, I don't know what they do now, of basically sugar in with the creatine. And it was a no-brainer. It was one-stop shop. Everything you needed was in there. You throw it in there, you drink it, right? Whereas if you go and get your creatine, be it you think it's a better quality or lower quality or whatever, point is, now you got to get your carbohydrate too, and just blah, 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 blah. So at least with the Cell Tech, everything was at one stop. Now, am I recommending you go out and buy Cell Tech? No, I'm not. Am I recommending that you use creatine? Yeah, I mean, creatine's probably going to be really good for you. It helps with muscle hydration, believe it or not, as long as you're intaking enough water. So you got to have plenty of water. But one of the biggest, coolest things, some of the research is now that creatine has like a huge benefit, like for recovery as far as rehabilitative type of things from injuries, disuse, like say you're laid up with leg in a cast or whatever, like Brian currently is, or you broke your arm, or you hurt something, bad shoulder like me, right, coming back from a slap tear. That creatine is like a big boon to somebody coming back from something like that and going through some rehabilitative process or recovery. The creatine aids in that. So there's science for all of that. Now, of course, the study that I'm going to put up here, where they did the test for the rehabilitative therapy using creatine coming back from an injury, after a period of downtime, they actually were taking 20 grams of creatine a day, and that was while they were laid up. And then they took a lesser amount, and an even lesser amount again, further into it, between 7 and 10 weeks of rehabilitation following an injury. So, or something to that effect. So 20 grams a day, that's a pretty high dose, and it doesn't really talk about body weight, and everything's body weight specific. That's, just like with the L-arginine, I may be able to take, when I'm really heavy, 12 grams of L-arginine pre-workout, and somebody that weighed, 50 pounds less than me may take 12 grams or even lighter than that, and they're going to be sitting on the commode, and within an hour shitting their fucking brains out from it. So everything is dependent on body weight, just like anything you put in your body. I'm getting tired. It's late for me, and I got to go to work again in the morning. I know, feel sorry for me, like, wow. Like there's something new to that. So, creatine. It's one of the few supplements that pretty much everybody, most people cannot dispute that it does work. It has value, it has merit. So, yeah, I would fuck with it. But if you're coming back from an injury, if you got an injury or something now, that's something I never really considered before. That actually coming back from this slap tear, now having read that and seen that, hey, call me, slow or whatever, but I didn't realize that before, didn't give it any thought or credence, and now that I've just looked at that, the research on it, if I were going back to when I was first coming back with this injury, which I'm still working with it, but it's came leaps and bounds, I would have supplemented creatine for that. I don't even care for creatine, but I would have, because this thing could have used all the help it could get, and it still can, but it's not as dire now. It's well on the mend. Alright, so that's it, just something quick, just a quick little thing there, that if you don't like it, if it bloats you, or if you don't like it because of what it does to your stomach, or you just don't feel like spending the additional coin on yet another thing to add into the whole plethora of the whole universe and world of fucking shit that you do surrounding working out and building your physique, I can't blame you, because I feel the same. But if you have an injury, Lord forbid, or something happened like that, it may be worth the investigating and throwing some creatine at it and see if that helps you along a little more quickly. All right, that's it. Take care. Have yourselves an awesome evening.